So Joshua Cody is my name. This is the Colorado Farm Brewery, and it's located in extreme south central Colorado in the San Luis Valley in Alamosa, Colorado. And I am the brewmaster and co-owner with my family and some neighbors. And it's located on the original family homestead where my great-grandparents homesteaded in the 1930s. And so we actually make fully farm-to-table beer where everything comes from the property. As far as I know, we're the only people really making 100% estate beer in the world, which is a big claim, but it could be true. But it's definitely, if there's anybody else doing it like we're doing it, I would be surprised. We grow all the grain here, we malt it here, we roast it here, all of our specialty malts. We grow hops on site. We also have a wild yeast strain, a Saccharomyces cerevisiae strain that we use for brewing in-house. And the well water is what makes the beer. So 100% of the property, 100% of the beer is made with estate ingredients that way. And so I don't know anybody else that does that. And so it's a pretty interesting business model though, that presents some unique challenges. And so what we eventually did was we have beers on tap that are 100% estate, and then we have other beers that we brew on site as well. The grain all comes from here, and some of the hops. But we also use other yeasts, but all the water comes from here. And so all of the beer comes from the property, and some of it is 100% from the property. And so that's really the business model. What makes us unique though also is that we're located at Colorado Malting Company. And so we actually have a facility here where we malt barley, wheat, and rye for microbreweries and distilleries all over the world actually. And we've been doing that for about 12 years. And so we decided to try this brewery idea. It was partly I guess you could call it a collaboration with neighbors. Some of our local neighbors here, they also grew barley. They'd also been here for 3 or 4 generations. And we had the idea of growing the grain and making the beer all on site. And we kind of imagined the way that vineyards operate, the idea that you actually go to the place where the grapes are grown to make wine. Maybe we could do that with beer. And since the San Luis Valley is world renowned for growing world-class malting grains, especially barley malt, Coors Brewing Company in Golden, Colorado has grown barley here for over 100 years. And my great-grandfather actually started growing barley for Coors Brewing Company on the same property we grow our barley for our brewery now, which is a really cool story. We're really about connecting people to the agricultural roots of the beer industry and helping them to firsthand experience what it takes to make beer. And that's real, and it testifies to people, to the truth of our humanity, that we need to be closer and know where the origin of those ingredients are coming from. We provide a pub-like, community-based tap room environment for people to bring their families or whatever, and their dog, and have a beer and talk to their neighbor. And I think that when people don't come from here and they come through with Harvest Hosts or with some other association, they come through and they have a beer with us, that they really notice that. Like that there's like a really cool local group that is here often, and it kind of rotates. And then at the same time, we have lots of visitors that come through. We're close enough to the Highway 285 that people see the highway sign and they're like, we got to check this place out. And so they come by. And we've had people from all over the world. It blows my mind, the people that have come to our little brewery. And so that's really what we provide our customers. Usually people are allowed to stay Thursday, Friday, or Saturday night. Or Saturday night. All 3 of those nights they're welcome, because that's when we're open. We have let people stay on Wednesday nights before. There has been times, depending on their situation, we've turned them away. But one time a guy called me, and he was coming Thursday night anyway, and they arrived in Alamosa, and he called and was like, look man, I know you said I can't be there, but it's you guys or the Walmart parking lot. And I was like, just come on out. You know? I mean, there it is. Like, it's not like a rigid rule for me, but it is a situation where this is also our home and our work environment. And it's like, there is some domestic tranquility that has to be protected there. And we also have a business right across the road from us, a guy that actually trains horses for a living. And I don't necessarily want people right next to his business every night either. And so I feel like that's a way for me to protect that part of my neighbor, where when I'm here and we're open, we can just monitor that people are here. And it's a safety issue in that regard, because nobody is here till midnight on Wednesday night. Nobody's here, people by 5 or 6, most everybody's leaving. Of the people that work in the malting company or the brewery are gone. And it's like, that's a lot of hours for somebody to just be here and not really have anybody around for a lot of reasons. And so that's really what it's about. But it's not a rigid rule or anything like that, And so we try to keep it pretty open. If people communicate with me, I'm a pretty open-minded guy, yeah.